everybody. Welcome to another edition of Evan Ginzburgs Legends TV. I'm Evan's co-host, Steve Ludwig. A little later on in the show, we're going to have horror blogger Zainab Ali, Maverick Soul Hour's own Tommy Marr. But right now, to start the show off, we have a beautiful live set of music from Speedo Harmonica Jones, who will be back on the show later on to speak with us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure, the Speedo Harmonica Jones Band.
Hey, Speedo.
Well, what's happening, Rosie?
Well, not too much, but I have a question for you.
And what might that be?
I was just wondering, do you ever wake up in the morning sometimes and think it's going to be a really, really good day?
On occasion I do, yeah.
Oh, me too, but then, sometimes something happens.
I know what you mean.
Well, if you know what I mean, I have a question for you.
What's that, hon?
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna get me a quart of Haagen-Dazs Rocky Road. Go up, lock myself in my room, and eat myself into a near-diabetic coma.
My goodness. Well, I can't afford the Haagen-Dazs over here, but I just shake my head from side to side and I say, you know what? That ain't right. Not at all. I'll tell you something else.
What's that?
Sometimes you dial your man at home and another woman picks up the phone, and that ain't right. What happens to you, man?
That vending machine must be high on crack.
Yeah, I know which one.
Took my money and gave me nothing back, and that ain't right. That ain't right at all, yeah.
Sometimes you find yourself caught $1 late and $1 short, and that ain't right. That ain't right at all.
You know what else?
That goes to Vinny.
Gigs are hard to get these days.
Yes, they are.
And with all the passion that we play, that ain't right.
No.
That ain't right at all, yeah.
Sometimes your friends are out there having a ball, and nobody thought to give you a call, and that is wrong. That is wrong, wrong, wrong. And you know that ain't right. When the dude ain't got no money, and he says, hey baby, come give me some of that honey. Oh no, 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 that ain't right. Come on guys, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right at all.
Right at all.
Oh, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
It ain't right at all.
Right at all.
No, that ain't right.
That ain't right,
It
yeah.
ain't right at all.
We're right at all.
Oh no, that ain't right.
That ain't right,
It
people.
ain't right at all.
We're not at all.
No, 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 no. No, 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 that ain't right at all. It ain't right at all. You go pick up your pay, and the man says no dollars today. That ain't right. Look at that roomy bed. And your woman says she wants the couch instead. Oh, you know that ain't right. That ain't right at all. That ain't right. new man, 'cause that ain't right. No, that ain't no right. No, that ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. Come on and sing. That ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right at all.
Right at all.
No, that ain't right.
That ain't
That
right.
ain't right at all.
Right at all.
Oh, I said that ain't right. That ain't right at all. I said that ain't right. No, that ain't right. That ain't right at all.
Thank you, thank you. That was a song by Shakura Saida, my all-time favorite vocalist. And right now we're going to do a song by another one of my all-time favorite vocalists, the great Ann Peebles. And this is our version of Breaking Up Somebody's Home.
Which we don't highly recommend. Lying around home alone on a rainy night like this, hungry for your love, starving for just one kiss. Now every raindrop I hear against my window pane seems so loud and clear, words that spell your name. Got nowhere to turn, tired of being alone, feel like breaking up somebody's home. But I know it's useless hanging on when you belong to someone else. I can't help my feelings, 'cause after all I didn't make myself. Last night I cried so hard, I believe I caught a chill. I can't control the vibrations, 'cause my heart just won't stand still. I got nowhere to turn, I'm tired of being alone. I feel like breaking up somebody's home. No, it's not my way, but I'm tired of being alone. I feel like breaking up somebody's home. Last night I cried so hard, I believe I caught a chill. I can't control the vibrations, my heart just won't stand still. I got nowhere to turn. I'm tired of being alone. I feel like breaking up somebody's home. Got nowhere to turn. I'm so tired of being alone. I feel like breaking up somebody's home. Don't break it up. No, don't break it up. You got me doing crazy things. Why are you so mean?
Thank you. That was a tune by the late, but not the late. She's still alive. Not doing too well, but Miss Ann Peebles, great. Now we're going to do an instrumental version. Going to feature our great keyboard player, Mr. Andrej Pivec from the Czech Republic. And this is a tribute to the late, great Jimmy Smith. It's called Back at the Chicken Shack. take it down a bit right now. And this is a song that was done by Laura Lee, who was a vocalist that should be far better known. And this is one of her tunes called Hang It Up.
Look at me, man. See what I represent. You see these lines in my face for all those hard years with you I spent. And before I let you go, I'll send the good Lord your soul so you can hang it up. Forget it, baby. Hang it up, 'cause you ain't going nowhere. I suffered with you too long to let you go. I know all about your other woman. You say she's much prettier than me. But you forgot one thing, baby. That's just the way I used to be. And before I let you go, I'll send the good Lord your soul. You better hang it up. Forget it, baby. Oh, you ain't going nowhere. I suffered too long to let you go. Now tell me, what kind of fool do you take me for? Leaving me for her? No, ain't what I really bargained for. And before I let things get any worse, I'll send you out the door feet first. You better hang it up. Get it, baby. Oh, you ain't going nowhere. Hang it up. Blow it out of your mind, baby. Oh, you hurt me so bad. And I ain't gonna let you go. Hang it up, baby. Why you wanna hurt me so bad? I ain't gonna let you go. No, 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 baby. Oh, hang it up. Oh, you ain't going nowhere.
That's the wonderful Miss Roseanne Freeman. And right now we're going to do a tune that was originally done by the Righteous Brothers off their first record, but nobody's ever heard it. And basically, this is kind of like Ray Charles meets Little Willie John.
Oh, yeah.
And this is called the B-flat blues.
Kicking it.
I want to tell you people why I feel so blue, yeah. Lord, I want to tell you people, I want to tell you why I feel so blue.
Yes, Vito, why do you feel so blue, man?
And here's why, Rosie. 'Cause when I woke up this morning, yeah, Lord, my baby say we were through. Talk about the blues, Rosie, come on.
I started crying when he left me and he walked out the door. Yes, he did. Lord, I started crying now. The way he laughed at me, he He said to me, you got to find you a new daddy, 'cause I can't afford you, mama, no more, no more. No more. Woo!
Well, I feel so bad,
Yeah!
and I feel so lonely.
Oh, yeah!
And I don't know, I really don't know, I don't know. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know.
I'm so sad.
I don't know what to do, baby.
And I'm so lonely. Hey,
What
I
else?
said, I'm feeling blue. So blue.
Oh, I know that you know, I know that you made a fool of me. Yeah.
Well, I just
I don't know.
Just
I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Lord, have mercy.
Play me a little Jimmy Smith here. Just a little bit, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I feel the
Yeah,
blues.
yeah.
I said my baby left me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta feel the blues.
Yeah, yeah.
My woman walked down one
I
day,
said
she
I'm
said
gonna
goodbye.
be here.
Yes, and I'm gonna feel,
I said I'm gonna be here.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel
I
the blues.
said I'm gonna feel the blues. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna feel
Lord,
the
you
blues.
got to feel the blues. Yeah. I said I'm gonna be here. Well, I'm gonna knock myself out.
Yeah,
Wrap myself in adhesive tape
yeah.
and drop myself the nearest pool of water. You know why, Speedo?
Why's that, sweetie?
Because it's got to be.
It's gotta be that way, yeah, 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 Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, one more? Okay, funkin' around.
All right.
T of A.
Well, you told me that you loved me, drank champagne out of my slipper. Yeah, you told me that you loved me, drank champagne out of my slipper. The next thing I know, his hand is down my best friend's zipper. You better stop that funkin', baby, stop that funkin' around. You better
Stop that funkin', baby, stop that funkin' around.
If you
Don't stop funkin' round, you're gonna funk yourself right into the ground. Used to be someone that I never would avoid.
Is that right?
Well, you used to be someone that you never could avoid.
Oh, you know that.
But times have changed, and you're just like a big
don't you
hemorrhoid.
know that?
Like a big hemorrhoid.
Keep on funkin'.
Baby, keep on funkin' around. Well, keep on funkin', baby, keep on funkin' around. Keep on funkin' round, you're gonna funk yourself right into the ground. Andre! Someone that would go right to my guts.
Yeah.
Well, you used to be someone that would go right through my guts.
Uh-oh.
But you ain't nothing but a great big pain in the butt.
Oh.
Stop that funkin', baby, stop that funkin' around.
Oh, you better
Stop that funkin', baby, stop that funkin' around. Don't stop funkin' round, you're gonna funk yourself right into the ground. One more time. Stop that funkin', baby, stop that funkin' around. Stop that funkin', baby, stop that funkin' around, yeah.
If you don't
Stop funkin' round, you're gonna funk yourself right into the ground.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
For nearly a decade, Evan Ginzburgs' Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net. The program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Lano, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
Brooklyn, baby, don't forget the gravy.
We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginzburgs, Legends Radio.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this, you'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue Tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. For professional...
All right, we are back with Legends TV. And what an honor and a privilege it is to present music of that caliber. These are not just musicians, these are artists. And I must thank Tommy Ma and Janine for dealing with the sound, which is a challenge. Live TV, folks. This is like the 1950s. This is all live. So, you know, kudos to everybody, from the musicians to the crew on down. And to my co-host, Steve Ludwig, who helped set all of this up. And,
yeah, sure. Are you kidding? Speedo and I couldn't even get in the trunk before to get something out of the car. I was the least help of everybody.
Oh, anyway. But you helped set up this entire show, including our next guest. Introduce our next guest.
I thought you meant the set. Our next guest is one of my favorite people. I love reading her blog. She's a horror blogger, probably the best on the internet, Zainab Ali.
There you go.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure.
And Steve is a huge horror aficionado, and I would say expert. I love horror, but I kind of go back to the old days with Hammer and such.
Me too.
So I'm going to let Steve do most of this. Tell us about your love of horror, Steve.
Well, I can remember when I was a kid watching Chiller Theater on, I think it was Channel 11, and Zachary, and I just loved it, you know, and $1 million movies show King Kong like 2 or 3 times a night. And just when I was a little kid, it was just so cool. And my father loved it, so I used to sit and watch horror movies with him. He'd always tell me, it's not real, don't worry. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, and so from an early age. And then I got to reading Zainab's blog, and oh my gosh, she gets so into the psychology of horror movies. And what we've done is we've chosen 2 that we're going to talk about today. We're going to show a trailer from each one, and then we're going to come back and talk about.
So why don't we do that? Let's go to the first trailer. You want to set it up first?
Why don't you tell what the first movie is?
The first movie is Let's Scare Jessica to Death. It came out.
I saw that when I was a kid.
It came out in 1970. It is a very creepy psychological horror movie. Well, I don't want to give it away, all of it just yet. But if you see the trailer, you'll get an idea of what happens in the movie and what the frame of mind Jessica was in. So it's very creepy.
Yeah, I enjoyed that film. I was a kid at the time, and back in the day, in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, on Flatbush Avenue, where it was like a movie mecca, like 42nd Street for the old schoolers out there. Well, let's see it, folks.
I'm calling on all the spirits of everyone who's ever died in this house. Jessica. I'm calling on all the spirits of everyone who's ever died in this house. Jessica.
Paramount Pictures presents Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
Jessica, you're home now. Who are you? Why have you been following me?
What's the matter with her?
She knows who killed that man.
What man?
I don't know. He was lying right here. But I swear it's true. No! I think that the same creature or whatever it is that killed the antique dealer killed them all.
I think you should go back to New York for a while. You can see your doctor.
I'm still alive. I was just, looking at the picture. Looks so much like you. My eyes. Look at my eyes. Come with me. Come with me. Follow me, Jessica. Follow me. I won't go away. I'll go away. It's not real, Jessica. It's not real. Jessica, I'm here. I'm here, Jessica. Stay. Stay, Jessica. Stay. I'm still here. I'm in your blood. No! You want to die, Cole. You want to die. Leave me! Leave me! Will you be quiet? I'll hear you! Dreams or nightmares? Madness or sanity? I don't know which is which.
Let's scare Jessica to death.
And of all the films in the world, why did this one intrigue you?
Well, because it's one of the many psychological horror movies, one of the many good horror movies that actually toy with your imagination a little bit and makes you question your own sanity. Because sometimes if you don't know the difference between what's real and what isn't, then you're losing your sense of control. Your sense
Kind of like when I open my refrigerator, my wife's Korean, and I don't know what any of the foods are. I can't read any of the labels. It's like my sense of reality is gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's scare Evan to death.
That's right. I don't know what I'm eating. But,
exactly.
You know, I don't know if you feel this way, Zainab, but I go back and forth. Sometimes I love to be just scared like this, where it's implied.
Mm-hmm.
And other times, I'd love to see a good old stomach be ripped out like Dawn of the Dead.
Flicks.
Zombie flicks.
Yes.
I guess it's all according to the mood I'm in, but I'm perfectly happy with just not seeing the gore and being scared out of my wits. Are you pretty much the same?
I'm the same exact way, because one day I'll be in the mood for a movie like this. The next day I'll want to watch the Long Island Cannibal Massacre, where all you see is gore. It's got a hint of psychological horror to it, but the good majority of the movie is gore.
did the Long Island Cannibal Massacre win an Oscar at some point?
No, not at all.
Just checking.
Not at all.
It lost out to
Not at all.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's right.
It was close that year.
It's nowhere near. It's not really Oscar material. It was a low-budget movie, and it was a good movie, though. I like the low-budget films.
But, that's a good point. The Exorcist, I think, was one of the greatest movies of all time. Not just horror, and that didn't win an Oscar, and it was up for Best Picture. I think horror has that, what's the word? That thing about it that it's just never going to win. Like comedy, they really win Best Picture awards.
I just saw an interview with John Carpenter. He was interviewed by Robert Rodriguez on the El Rey Network, which is an awesome network. They have Lucha Libre, they have all the Shaw Brothers Kung Fu epics. And Carpenter's movies were dirt cheap. I mean, the budget's in the beginning, before The Thing, of course. And, he did some amazing stuff. Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween.
Roger Corman as well. I mean, a lot of his are campy, but talk about low budget. The films that he made
non-budget.
Non-budget.
We were talking in the car before. American International Pictures, the quote-unquote blaxploitation films of the 70s with Pam Grier and Fred Williamson, they shot those on $20,000. And they made millions and millions of dollars. And some of those were quality films.
I think some, and I've even read that some movies were less than 1,000.
Less than
like $900. I
Wow.
think that's how much the Long Island Cannibal Massacre
I shot a
cost.
documentary 2-3 years ago on $8,000, and we won awards. I
Mhm.
mean, so you can do quality work on a low budget, on a shoestring, if you know what you're doing.
I think it's basically, all you have to do is just convey that message. Get it across to the viewers, basically.
Robert Rodriguez, I believe it was El Mariachi. That was done on like $7,000 or
You're right.
$8,000.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's an awesome film.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome.
You
So
know-
set up the next clip.
Yeah, before we get to the next clip, I mentioned Zainab's blog. Maybe could you give us the blog site
It's
address? And
the nightmarenook.horrorblog.com and or Nightmare Nook Horrorblog at .blogspot.com. So
I think if you Google the Nightmare Nook, it'll come up.
NOOK.
But it's great. Yeah, NOOK. It's great. Second film is one of my top 3 horror films of all time. Zainab picked one, and she said, "Why don't you choose one?" So I chose the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original from 1974. Right. It's another one of those where a lot of it's implied, the gore. You think you see blood, a lot of blood, but you
And
really
people
don't.
may not know this, but it was based on a true story.
Yeah, Ed
Which
Gein.
is scary in and of
Ed Gein,
itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ed Gein, yeah.
So we have a trailer for that,
All right.
and then I thought we'd come back and talk
Let's
about
check it out.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America.
Sally, I hear something. Stop! Stop!
This is the movie that is just as real, just as close, just as terrifying as being there. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it.
And we are back, and that is one of the all-time great horror films. And
yeah, it really is.
And again, it's particularly frightening because it's based on something that actually happened. Can you imagine somebody being subjected to a scenario like that?
You know, speaking of actual things, Evan, I am an official member of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan club.
Of course.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And in good standing. And at the end of the movie, there's the scene where they're on the highway. Big truck comes and knocks over the hitchhiker, character of the hitchhiker. And Leatherface is twirling around with his chainsaw. Well, they dug up that road. And as a active member of the club, I was given a piece of that, actual piece of the road.
Wow.
Now, could have been from down the block for all I know, but they
That's
did
right.
give a certificate of authenticity with this. So
Wow.
Leatherface stood on this. I mean, what more? I've lived.
That's right. That's
Why
right.
live any longer?
That's right. There you go.
But you know, I think my fault. I just wanted to make sure we got Zainab's horror blog correct. It's nightmarenookhorrorblog.com. Nightmarenookhorrorblog.com. I think I messed that up.
Shouldn't you know that by now?
I know.
Okay.
Well,
All
so
right.
because I mean, sometimes like on my Facebook, there's the Nightmare Nook Horror Blog. So there are times I say the instead of just nightmarenookhorrorblog.com. So, but you know, people
Zainab-
can still find me.
She's playing psychological games with us, like the horror movies she talks about on the blog.
And while we're
Exactly.
plugging websites, plug classic pop culture.
Oh, yeah, thanks very much, Evan. Just planetludwig.com. Check it out. It's everybody and anybody you could think of that were in pop culture. I'm trying to get on the show. And coming up in a couple weeks, I think I mentioned this last week, is Elvis Presley's fiancée at the time of his passing, Ginger Alden. She's going to be on the show.
And she found him dead.
She's the one
Yeah.
who discovered his body in the bathroom,
Wow.
and we'll be talking about that, but more pleasant things as well during the
Sure.
interview. But you know, a point I wanted to make, and I will go into commercial soon, about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Zainab and I were talking even before the show. Another great thing about the movie is so much is implied. Like you saw the meat hook, and the girl gets hung on the meat hook, but you don't see the meat hook going in her back or blood or anything else. That's what makes the movie so special to me, anyway. Is
It
that
leaves a lot to the imagination, which, I mean, and there's some horror movies that actually they're better because they do that, because they're not just flat out gore. But the thing is, you can still feel that hook going into your back.
Right.
Either way you can.
I want you to know, my grandfather was a butcher, and they robbed the place one day, and they locked him in the freezer. That's a true story. That's as close to what you're saying.
and you found them hanging from a hook? I hope not.
No, they just locked him in there, and he was like, please, please get me out of here. Finally, a customer came in hours later.
Oh my
True story. True story.
I would be so traumatized.
It was traumatic. It was cold, too.
And an impossible question. I know we're pressed for time. Zainab, what's your favorite horror movie of all time? Did we talk about that last time you were on? I forget.
You know, there's so many.
That's really an
Give us the
unfair
top
question.
5.
Yeah.
In no particular order.
Top 5, I would say, The Exorcist, Carrie, Pet Sematary, and
Christine, you mentioned.
Christine, yes,
right?
Christine, and
I think it was. You're a big Stephen King fan, aren't you?
oh,
I noticed.
love
yeah.
Stephen King, love him.
Yeah.
I would just say it. You know, I'm just throwing this stuff out there. I was just throwing this stuff
What's
out there.
that, Vinny? Cat's Eye.
I like the movie Cat's Eye. It's not my favorite movie, but I like the movie.
The voice you hear from beyond is not God. It's Zena's boyfriend, Vinny the Guido from the wrestling world.
It's not Vinny the Gado. It's Vinny the Guido.
We tried to gag him in the green room, but it was an impossible task. So, anyway, so
Those are just to name a few. There's so many more, obviously, but I'm just throwing some stuff out there. So.
Okay. And Steve, what about your favorite horror films?
All-time favorite, The Exorcist. In no particular order, top 5. Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw, Jaws. I know that's more of an adventure, but Jaws is in there. Night of the Living Dead, and oh boy, for the 5th one, it's tough. There's so many that I like. How about the top 4? Those are my top 4.
Would Psycho constitute a horror
Psycho
film?
is in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, what's
Psycho
better than
definitely.
Psycho?
That was based on a true story too.
That's based on the same guy, Ed Gein,
yeah.
upon whom Texas Chainsaw was based too.
Well, Texas
Norman
Chainsaw.
Bates.
The thing is, there's a few hints of Ed Gein and Leatherface, but Ed Gein was more the characters of of Psycho, from Psycho, and the Norman Bates and the Buffalo Bill character from Silence of the Lamb. That is actually that's more inspired by Ed Gein.
Okay, yeah.
So, but Leatherface, it's just a few hints here and there.
I think the scariest thing is the women that send fan mail to these serial killers. I think that's scarier than anything.
Talk about
and the ones that
psychological.
marry them as well.
Well, I read that Ted Bundy had got so many letters from women saying that they loved him and everything, and he was a handsome, charming guy.
It's that bad boy thing. The women can't resist a good serial killer. What can I tell you?
It's fascinating. They're fascinating. The criminal mind is very fascinating.
Wow.
How about your favorite horror movie, Evan?
Dawn of the Dead and Halloween, like a tie. I love horror.
Yeah.
Dracula also.
Yeah.
I
Dawn
just
of the
love
Dead is in there
Christopher
for me.
Lee.
Love Christopher
I just
Lee,
watched Rasputin the Mad Monk, Hammer Horror. I love Christopher Lee. He's in his 90s. He's still acting.
He's still very sharp. He's very sharp, and him and Peter Cushing had the best on-screen and off-screen chemistry. They were actually very close.
Peter Cushing was awesome.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
And I just saw a concert last night. Most of the musicians were in their 80s. Barry Harris, Jimmy Owens, Jimmy Heath. I mean, these guys are phenomenal master jazz musicians. Flushing Town Hall, beautiful venue. But we must wrap this segment up. One more time, plug the websites, please.
NightmareNookHorrorblog.com. I got that right.
Is it Steve?
PlanetLudwig.com, LegendsTVNYC.com.
That's right. And I want to thank Daniel Everett for introducing me to Speedo Harmonica Jones. And Daniel Everett was sporting the Bobby Patterson T-shirt.
Nice.
If you like old school R&B, and Bobby Patterson
Yeah.
is a showman, and we're going to try to get him on Legends TV as well. And coming in 2015, Barbara Mason, Gene Kahn. We have million-selling R&B and blues artists coming to Legends TV. So, and check out the archives, of course, legendstvnyc.com, madhousetv.com. We have some great, great artists. Crown Heights Affair have been on, Martha Wash, tons of not only great indie artists, but million-selling artists. And when we come back, speaking of great artists, Tommy Ma and Speedo Harmonica Jones after this quick timeout.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. Find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York. And we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
Motorcycle transport and towing? Think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
And we are back with Legends TV, and we are joined by the co-owner of Legends TV, the host of the Maverick Soul Hour, a great artist in his own right, Tommy Ma.
Hey, Evan.
And you match with Speedo. You look like a tag team, you know?
We are.
We're the tag team of the blues.
And Steve,
We're the future.
There you go. Speedo, introduce your lovely lead singer.
This is the lovely and talented Roseanne Freeman.
There you go. And you're sporting something that would have made Fred Blassie proud. I like that outfit.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's very
I have no
hip.
idea where it came from.
Wow.
It's very hip.
Wow, there
Very.
you go.
It is.
There you
Beautiful.
go.
I also like the sparkles up
so
here.
much. Yes, I have a theory about that, but thank you.
It's like a classy,
What's the-
classy 60s thing.
What's the
Thank
theory?
you. I like the theatrical aspect of performing live. You know, the visual is important for the audience.
She turn on?
So I get into it. I like that.
And you're a great stage performer besides being a great vocalist. And we were talking earlier about some of the great vocalists that we've seen.
Yes.
Including
Yes.
Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Carmen McRae, Etta James, etc., so on. And I think we have some mic issues, so
Steve didn't turn the mic on.
Yeah, I do everything. I set up for the band.
That's right.
I drove Tommy Marr here.
That's right.
Holy, set up the cameras.
Amazing, amazing. He's an amazing guy.
What's amazing is this is live TV,
That's great.
warts and all, and just like the 1950s, which is an amazing, phenomena, right?
I think we got a little better quality, though.
Oh, come on. you just had a 7-piece band that sounded beautiful.
That's got set up in 20 minutes.
That's right.
Tommy
that's
Marr.
right.
The
It was
whole
awesome.
technical part of it.
And Tommy, tell us a little about Madhouse TV and the Maverick Soul Hour.
Well, Madhouse is exploding. I mean, amazing things are happening. As you know, we did the big blues fest up in Windsor, Canada, with the greatest blues artists in the world. 3 days up there, 20,000 people. Amazing, Coco Montoya, Bobby Rush. It was just incredible.
I love Bobby
Could I ask you a
Rush.
question? Was Shakur Saida there?
No.
Because I thought she has played Windsor before.
No. Actually, Dana Fuchs was supposed to be there, but her dad got sick, and then this girl, Laura Rain, jumped in and blew the place up. And she's coming on my show, I think, in 2 weeks. Watch for that show. She is amazing.
All right.
Come over here, sweetheart.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. And we just got invited out to L.A. to do the Night of 100 Stars by Mr. Evan Ginsburg.
Well, actually, by
Well,
Oscar from Men on a Mission.
I'm
from the
calling
WWE.
Oscar today. I didn't
That's
want
right.
to call him because it was 3 hours of difference in there, but we got that coming up. We just did the rock and roll, the blues, the Long Island Music Hall of Fame. We just did that live. Dionne Warwick was there. Roger Waters from Pink Floyd we had. All of Billy Joel's band was inducted. It was an amazing night. It was just, you can watch it back on Madhouse. We have some clips of all the interviews I did and Tom Mealy did. And it was just an incredible night. We definitely stepped up the game just in that night too. But we have so many big things coming, so many great artists coming
That's
on.
right.
On my show, I have Roger Earl from Foghat's coming on. One of the OJs is coming on December 14th.
Wow, that's right up my alley.
He's doing a gospel album, and it's incredible. He sent it to me. It's amazing. We're going to have Leo Lyons from 10 Years After back on with his new band. Just so many people coming on.
And the archives.
Scott Holt from Buddy Guy.
Okay.
And the archives as well. I mean,
And
we've
you
had
can go
so
back on
many
the
great
archives.
guys.
We've had 10 Years After.
Vince Marcel.
The Vanilla Fudge I've had on 4 times. Come on, Steve. Cactus. We've had
George Thorogood.
George Thorogood, Spirit.
Yeah, the real deal, the real deal. And
The Who.
Only the Who.
Only.
Just the Who.
Those one wonders.
Those guys.
Yeah, that tiny little band from England.
And Tommy, you're the real deal as well. You were with Wilson Pickett, one of the all-time greats. Tell us a little about that.
Just a quick thing with him. I did something with him in Ocean City, Maryland. It was not early 90s, but one of my favorite artists of all time. I mean, James Brown to me is like at the top.
That's right.
Wilson Pickett and those guys, the rest are like right there too.
James Brown and Jackie Wilson,
Jackie
right on
Wilson
top, right?
is, oh my God, and Al Green. And
I love Al Green.
I've got an Al Green story for you.
I do too. Go ahead. Yours first.
Okay, well, you see Laura Lee, who's one of the people we played tribute to?
Yes.
She does a version of Since I Fell for You, and it's the most amazing thing you've ever... Yeah, but you probably heard it by, Ella Johnson and who's that? Lenny Welch. And but
Lenny Welch.
that version blows everybody away. She does this, 3-minute rap in the beginning, and she talks about this incredible man she met on the street and how he became a lover and all
It was
thing.
about
and
Steve, right?
Yeah,
Steve
and now
Ludwig.
how he's gone. And
When I had hair.
the minute she starts singing, you will completely break into tears. It's the most incredible thing I've ever heard. It's off that CD there.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
And, but anyway, the song was written about her lover at the time. And who was her lover at the time? Al Green.
Oh, there you go.
Now, she's not the
There you
woman
go.
that poured the grits on his back.
Right.
I don't know who that lady is, but she's dead now.
I went down to Al Green's church in Memphis, which was probably the greatest thing musically I've ever seen. And I asked him to sign some albums, and he started singing "Let's Stay Together" to me while he was
Wow.
signing.
Really?
True story.
Wow.
Yeah,
Too bad you didn't have a little,
Al Green.
Evan, I have a quick
Sure.
question for harmonica. For
Yes.
Harmonica Jones. I mentioned this before that with the sound check. Your harmonica holder. You have 7 or 8 different harmonicas.
Yes.
Like I have a spaghetti western. It looks like
Right.
weapons.
They're all different keys, yeah.
And you can just, just by looking at it, which
I
one
just
you
know where I
need.
place them. I know
like a piano player. He knows where his keys are.
I'm not a musician.
No, I know where I place them. I place them in a certain
I think it
spot.
looks pretty cool too. It looks like them old.
Do you know how how that started?
Yeah, Spaghetti Western.
It started because I used to play in these really rough clubs, and I'd leave the harmonicas, like on the counter,
them.
and people would just steal them right off the counter.
Wow.
So I said, "Oh, you're going to steal from me? You're going to have to rip it right off my body."
Well, it's a cool look as well.
Yeah.
I gotta say too,
Absolutely.
these guys killed it.
That's right. That's
they
right.
Thank you.
Killed it.
That's right.
I had an ear orgasm. I'm telling you.
Wow.
There you go.
It was.
There you go.
It was amazing.
I think I'll move back over here.
Now, as we say in the song, that ain't right. We got to get some gigs.
The cauliflower. The cauliflower.
And speaking of killing it, I'm betting you guys have the same friends. Tommy played with Michael Packer.
Right, I know
and,
Michael.
Kerry Kearney,
Yes.
and some amazing musicians the other day. Tell us about that. We're going to set up the clip and show a piece of that.
Michael Packer, who he runs the New York and New Jersey Blues Hall of Fame, and he called me about a week ago and he said, "We're shooting a DVD at BB King's, and we'd like you to come in and do a song." And I said, "Do you have the right number?" And he said, "No, he knows me. He's been on my show. Michael's been on my show with his incredible band." And he said, "No, I'd like you to come in and do a song." And I said, "Okay, what song do you want me to do?" And he said, "The Thrill Is Gone."
Right.
And I'm like, "You want me to do The Thrill Is Gone in BB King's?" I mean, that's not too much pressure. With a band I never played with, no rehearsal, no nothing, which you'll see, I kind of I vamped it. It was just like, we just went,
It worked.
But that's what it is.
Well,
You
it was,
just go up there and you feel the moment.
First of all, it scared me. I mean, we were all, Evan came, Steve came, and a lot of my friends were there, and, I don't get nervous, but all of a sudden, after listening to these guys, and you guys can attest to it.
Virtuoso musicians.
I mean, my God, it was like
One of the Blues
best,
Brothers
the
was
Blues
there?
Brothers, Paparazzi, that's how you pronounce it.
Rob Paparazzi, yeah.
Yeah, was he amazing or what?
Oh,
I mean, he
incredible.
blew
And a
me away.
showman.
But
And a
each
showman.
person was just, Michael Packer killed it. The whole band killed. Kerry Kearney is probably the best slide player in North America.
Well, I don't know.
that guy-
Robert Ross can give him a run for the money.
I love Robert Ross.
I got to
He's been
put
on
my
the
I got to
show.
put my guy up there
Yeah.
because he's a Long Island guy and I know him and he's done my show too. And was he amazing or what? I mean,
They were all amazing.
it was.
Virtuoso
I didn't even.
musicians.
I just wanted to watch. I didn't want to be a part of it. And then they called me up, so it was what it was.
Why don't we give the viewers a taste? This is
All right.
Tommy Marr in action.
I haven't even seen this yet.
At Lucille's just 2 nights ago, folks. The first people to see it.
That's Tommy Bear. Hey, we're in BB King's house, so this is good program. Come on, show us some love. Here's the Mavericks Soul Hour. That's right, Janine, right?
Yes.
Janine who? Every Sunday. Thank you, Sunday night. Cowgirls in the house, huh? 8 to 9?
8 to whenever.
8 to 1.
Depends who's playing.
But he's had, what, you had George Thorogood on there?
10 years there, 8 to 4.
Hey, you had me and Ed on there.
Had Michael Packer in there.
Tommy Mayer, come on, put it up. Keeping the blues alive in New York.
All right, and that's Tommy Ma and Great Live Blues. And speaking of blues, Speedo, tell us about the CDs.
Okay, well, you know, the show we did today was basically the great unknown divas of blues, jazz, and soul.
Okay.
And I would want to get them to be better known. And the first one over on the left there, Shakura Saida, my favorite vocalist of all time.
Daniel Everett loves her, and you
turned them on to
it.
Of course. I actually discovered, of all things, in Texas. I was just fooling around with YouTube in Texas, and all of a sudden I couldn't believe it. And the song I heard, I said, this song reminded me of like if Louis Jordan had resurrected himself.
Right.
You know, or early Chuck Berry. You know, they had these really incredible, poignant lyrics, and nobody could sing it like her. And everything, the way her stage presence, everything about her. And I discovered she was playing 6 hours from New York in Syracuse. So I took the bus up there.
You took about 6 hours. Wow.
I would have gone across country to see it.
You would have walked to have seen
I would have
her.
walked. I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Wow.
And I get there, and she's at this blues festival, not even headlining, and they announce her, and nothing. Dead silence. Like nobody knew who she was, and I'm screaming my head off. But of course, at the end of the night, everyone knew who she was. And I had like 2 minutes to talk to her before I had to get back on the bus to come back. And she was one of the most gracious people I've ever met.
There you go.
You know, she's a wonderful person.
And the others?
The others, okay, Laura Lee, who I mentioned before, who is Al Green's girlfriend, one of the greatest singers of all time. And the story about, she was a contemporary of Aretha Franklin. She sang with her in Detroit. And Motown turned her down.
Wow.
Motown said, no, your voice is, you know, more like the Southern soul. So she signed with Chess, and then she signed with Hot Wax. But she never really got the recognition. But she was the best singer of all of them, of any of those soul singers.
Wow.
And in the early 80s, she came down with terminal cancer and prayed, sort of like Little Richard. She prayed to God and said, God, if you get me through this, I will devote myself to the church. She made a miraculous recovery.
Wow.
I was doing like missionary work in Africa. But I would love to play with her again.
That's like a movie, that whole story.
It
That's
is.
unbelievable.
It is incredible. And then, of course, the last one, Roseanne, one of my favorite singers for the future.
All right.
She
And,
is amazing.
And we do the B-flat blues on there, which is actually an old Righteous Brothers tune.
You could sing pretty well yourself, too.
Oh, well, thank you. From you, that's a huge compliment.
Roseanne, we don't have a lot of time, but tell us briefly about yourself.
Basically, I feel that music was a gift. You know, I was born with. I could always happy with music around me. I started classical piano at 7.
Okay.
I started in classical music. I'd be 7 years old crying at the piano.
Wow.
From Beethoven.
Wow.
And, you know, besides feeling like a very weird kid.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I'm grateful for the music. I'm grateful for having met Speedo because we're very compatible spirits with the music. It's a lot of from the heart kind of stuff.
Okay. And
So I know we don't have a lot of time, but I just want to put out a good message. That's what I'd like my musical life to be about.
And that
You just did.
that
Thank
35-minute set was as good a message as any TV show is going to do this week. That was beautiful.
Wonderful. Thank
Speedo,
you.
tell the fans where they could see you. And
Well, right now on Legends TV, but besides that, we are expecting to get some Long Island gigs soon. There is a SpeedoHarmonicaJones.com, which is my website, and all updates will be on there. I also have 3 YouTube channels.
Wow.
Yeah, one of them has like 7-8 hours of my music on it.
There you go.
Another one's got these great instrumentalists. Another one's got, of course, the great vocalists. And besides these, there's Thornetta Davis from Detroit, who never plays outside Detroit, but she's an amazing blues singer. Barbara Morrison from L.A., Jan Fanucci from San Francisco, Andrea Dawson, who's from Dallas, and how do I leave this one out? Shirley Brown from Memphis.
Oh, yeah. We'll be doing a lot of her stuff.
You're very gracious. Most artists will not acknowledge other artists. You just gave us
yeah.
no, really,
Yes.
very gracious. But we must wrap things up. And once again, Speedo, it's been an honor. And Steve, thank you so much for
Thank you, guys.
helping
It's
set
been
everything
fun.
up
Awesome.
today. Steve
You're
Ludwig, Classic
Awesome.
Pop Culture Radio, Tommy Ma. And thank you so much as well. You're a tremendous vocalist.
Thank you.
I've seen the greatest of the greats, and I was riveted.
I'm so humbled.
I was riveted.
Well, thank you, God.
Next week, So Soon, Sound of Something Out of Nothing. Great hip hop. We do it all here on Legends TV. This is Evan Ginzburg, signing off.